Hey gang, Tony here with my Sunday morning movie roundup. I promised I would be doing this every week on Sunday, and I am trying to keep that promise, as hard as it may be for me to keep a schedule of any kind. I will apologize up front. I'm currently fighting off a severe headache, so I may not be quite as exuberant as I normally am, but I'll try. I have my little list of movies here that I'm going to go through. As I've mentioned previously, this is not a review, although I may give star ratings for no reason at all. It's just a roundup of the movies that I watched during the week with brief synopses, and explanations of what I thought. Alright, so I was feeling kind of nostalgic this week, and I watched a couple of older movies from the 80s that I really liked as a kid, and I've watched a million times, and I don't know, I felt like I wanted to see them again, so I watched them. One of those was Explorers. I always say The Explorers, but it's just Explorers. That's the one with, who's in that? River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke and other people that I can't remember right now. And it's just a really fun, I guess you could call it science fiction movie, where these three friends have weird dreams that helps them to create a circuit board, which in turn creates this like bubble thing that they use to go into outer space. And I think that's kind of that like dream hopefulness that you feel as a kid. Like when I watched that as a kid, I was pretty sure at some point in my life I would do something like that. You know what I mean? Like I was young, and you watch a movie and like, oh my god, that's amazing. And it just really captured my imagination when I was younger. And the movie holds up. I feel like it's almost sort of this soft science fiction version of the Goonies, and in that it's like this group of friends who decide to do this thing together, and they do it, and they accomplish their goal. And the end is a little, once they finally, I'm gonna do some spoilers here, I guess, because it's a movie from the 80s. If you haven't seen it, I won't spoil much, but I will say that what they discover when they go out into outer space, it gets a little kind of gonzo at that point. They amp up the comedy part of it, of the movie at that point, which I feel like maybe is not so much the tone of the rest of the movie, and it feels a little silly. And that's the only part of that movie that I kind of wish was maybe a little different. But I do love that movie. I'll watch it again eventually. I suggest you check it out if you have not seen it, or if you did see it as a kid, watch it again and feel the nostalgia wash over you. Along with that one, The Gate. This one was given to me by Joe, your geeky neighbor, in a previous box that he sent to me. And I've been sitting on it for a while, not literally, just not watching it for a while, because I was waiting for, really being in the mood for it, and I was this week. And this is another one from, I believe it's from the 80s. And this is kind of like, instead of a kid's science fiction, this is a little more of kids' horror. And this one has, again, it's a couple of kids who, I think Steven Dorff, is that his name? He's in it. They inadvertently open a gate to hell and demons come through. And it has some of that really cool like claymation style small creatures in it. And again, this is one of those movies I saw when I was a kid, and I loved it. And I still think it holds up pretty well. There's a lot of stuff like little mentions of metal music in this one. And okay, so maybe a little kiddie at the end, but in the sense that like there are no real repercussions in this particular movie. But still a good movie. I really enjoy it. Not the scary. I mean, it's not scary. I'm sure when I was a kid I felt creeped out by it. But anyway, so The Gate and The Explorers. The Gate was, like I said, a disc that someone sent me. The Explorers is on Netflix Instant if you want to watch that one. before I go on with the list, just a quick mention of one other movie that Joe, your geeky neighbor sent me that I watched weeks ago and I forgot to mention at all. It's Afflicted. I enjoyed that movie a lot, Joe. It was not what I expected at all. For some weird reason, I thought it was a zombie movie, and it's not a zombie movie. It is found footage, which I generally don't enjoy, but I thought this one was done pretty well, and it had some really cool moments in it. I don't want to say much about it, because if you're like me and you don't know anything about it, just watch it and, you know, be surprised. But it was definitely a good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. Alright, next up is Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. This is from Redbox. I watched that one a couple of nights ago, and I'll say this, it's not my favorite of the series so far, but it's a good movie. And honestly, I'm surprised I even like the series at all. I almost didn't watch any of the movies because someone at some point compared Hunger Games to Twilight in like tone and style, I guess. And I almost didn't watch them because of that. But then I ended up seeing the first one and being pleasantly surprised. In fact, I'm really glad someone said that to me, because I went into it expecting absolutely nothing and probably ended up enjoying the first movie much more than I would have if I thought it was going to be great. I don't know if that makes sense. My head hurts. I can't think straight. But the third one was pretty good. Poor, you know, Philip Seymour Hoffman. It kind of made me sad seeing him in the movie, knowing I'm curious how they're gonna approach that in the second part, Mockingjay Part 2, but I guess we'll find out. So yeah, definitely worth a watch, especially if you're a fan of the series or if you know, read the books. Alrighty. Alright, I watched this one for some weird reason. I'm still not sure why. Ghost Graduation. Ghost Graduation. This one is on Netflix Instant. I'm gonna have some coffee and hope that it affects my brains in a positive manner. Yes. The power of caffeine flows through me. Ghost Graduation. This was a Spanish film subtitled on Netflix Instant, and it was alright. I'll say that. It was goofy, which I guess is why I put it on, because I kind of like campy horror movies. There was a lot of, interestingly enough, I didn't even really notice right away, but there was a lot of Breakfast Club allusions or, you know, references through the movie. And that was kind of cool. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the Breakfast Club, but I did watch it a number of times over the years. And to see like those little just like references in this movie kind of made it for me in a way. So there's a lot of like 80s stuff that goes on in it, because the ghosts in the movie are from they died in the 80s in school during detention in a library. Sound familiar? Each character of the ghosts are sort of like the embodiment of one of the characters from the Breakfast Club. So, you know, like the geek and the jock and, you know, all that kind of crap. And yeah, like I said, you know, there's nothing new here. It's one of those situations where the main character can see ghosts, but he thinks he's crazy through most of the movie. And then he realizes he's not crazy, and the principal of the school needs his help to expel the ghosts from the school because they're ruining the, they're making... I can't do it. Sorry. I'm so bad at synopsises, it's just the worst thing in the world. The school is going to be shut down if this teacher can't help expel the ghosts. So he tries to. I would give this movie maybe like 6 stars out of 10. It's probably worth a watch. I'll never watch it again though. Again, another movie, I'm not really sure why I watched this one. The Giant Mechanical Man. Okay, I do know why I watched it. I watched it because of the title. and it wasn't at all what I was expecting. It ended up being a romantic comedy. This one is like 5 stars out of 10. It was okay. It had the woman from The Office, Jenna Fisher, I think her name is. And I don't know any of the other characters in it. It's not even worth telling you what this one's about. It's a romantic comedy. Everything you expect to happen happens. Paint by numbers. Don't watch it. Next, and lastly, this is the last one of the week, Red Lights, which I somehow overlooked. Apparently this one came out, Giant Mechanical Man, if you do want to watch it, is on Netflix Instant. And Red Lights is also on Netflix Instant. Don't know how I overlooked this one. It was from 2012. Has Cillian Murphy in it, has Robert De Niro, Sigourney Weaver. It's not a horror movie, it's like a psychological thriller. But it's basically about Cillian Murphy and Sigourney Weaver, their characters, can't remember any names of characters, but their characters are doctors and they debunk fake psychics. And they go around and kind of study fake psychics and figure out how they're doing what they're doing. And again, probably a plot that you are familiar with, but this movie does it a little differently and goes off in some directions that you wouldn't expect. Overall, I really enjoyed it. The ending took me by surprise. I don't want to say, obviously I'm not going to tell you what the ending is. I'm still trying to decide if I like the way it ended or not. It was surprising, but I'm not sure if I liked that surprise or not. Overall, good movie though. Interesting. I'd give it 7 out of 10 stars. Definitely worth a watch. You may not like it, you may like it, I don't know. Hard to say. But the performances in it were spectacular. Well, not spectacular. They were good. The atmosphere is really cool. Strange stuff happens. It keeps you interested. I was highly engaged throughout the entire movie. And, that's kind of what it's about for me. If I could get through a movie and it kind of pays off, this movie does pay off. But again, I'll leave that last moment in the movie up to you if you think that it was done well. I will say that it felt obscure at times. Like there were some things that they probably could have explained a little better. But I like that also at the same time because it makes it rewatchable. I kind of want to watch it again just to kind of fill in some of the blanks that I feel like I'm missing. Alrighty. So ends our second week of the Sunday Movie Roundup, the Headache Edition. I hope that this was fun for you to watch. I'm going to continue doing these because it seems like you guys are kind of into it. What you have to look forward to in the week ahead, I will be doing another Unboxing the 80s, stuff I forgot I own video, because I have a box of stuff sitting here and I have many more things, and everyone was like, why did you tease us? Show us what you were looking at, that you stopped the video. I'm like, oh man, I'm sorry. I kind of knew I was doing that, but at the same time didn't know anyone would care. So I will have another one of those videos probably midweek. I'm thinking about making those like midweek videos. And Friday the 13th is coming up, so I'm thinking, gotta do something for that, right? Gots to. Oh, and also, I will be drawing the winner of the last two, the magnet and pen, the last 2 items I'm giving away from the Parcel of Terror. So I will be doing that giveaway video maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Want to space out my videos a little bit, give you guys a chance to watch them. You are watching, right? I hope so. See that's the sympathy view I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for the pity views now. One last thing. My baby Freddy is moving along. Just waiting for more silicone. So I have, as you can see here, I have run low on the silicone 2-part solution that I was using to make the molds. So I am just waiting for more of that for the last piece, and then I can start casting. Well, I can technically start casting now, but I can't put it together until that last piece is there. So, more updates to come. Breathe deep of the night. See you soon.